Hello friends, welcome again to Verified Soul. This is yet another day. And as I am shooting this video, we only are remaining with 3 weeks to the DV Lottery 2025 application period. And as I always tell you, every time it comes for DV application, it's the highest time that you apply for the DV lottery. No matter how many times you've tried and not succeeded, you just apply. But today in this video, I have a very important guest with me, and she has a very interesting story. So I bet that you will be interested in listening to this, especially if you have applied and tried several times without succeeding, because she is one of those. But I don't want to share anything. I want herself to tell you what enrolled. So without much ado, I want to welcome my visitor. Welcome our guest to this show.
Thank you, VS.
Welcome again. So our viewers are very keen and they want to listen to your story, the story that you have to share. Could you please introduce yourself briefly?
Well, my name is Lucy. My name is Lucy Kaime. I'm Kenyan, born in a place called Limuru. And yes, I'm a mother of 3 grown-up children. And for now, that is who I want you to know me by.
So you said you are a mother of 3
Yes.
grown-up kids.
Yes.
So that means how old?
Woo! I am 55.
Wow, 55?
I won my DV at 55.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, 55 and you've won your DV.
55.
Wow, that's interesting.
Thank you.
I'm also interested to hear and to listen to what you have to say. So tell us, at age 55, does that mean that you've applied for several times or it was your first time?
I will not even say that I have applied for several times. I will say I have applied for all of my life. For me, applying for DV is actually a lifestyle. I apply every single year. VS.
Wow, every
Yeah.
single year.
Imagine.
So you mean from the time you heard about DV, and that is a long time ago,
Yeah.
you've been applying year in, year out?
I will say yes because I have even applied when there was no internet and we used to fill in forms, put them in the post. I apply every year. We are talking of over 10 years, applying every single year.
Wow, for over almost
Over 10 years.
over 10 years.
Over 10 years.
Wow, that's great. And now here you are
Here I am at 55.
at 55.
That is when I've been lucky to win. And applying for DV for me is a lifestyle. So I'm always keen to know this is October. But I think I started applying for the DV in the 1990s, when we used to fill in some forms, put in the post, because word had it out there that there's a way that you can go to the US. And so we looked out for how to do it. There were forms to be filled. We used to fill, put it in the post. I may have missed to check the results, but I have never missed to apply.
Wow,
Yes.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So for majority of us, the youths
Yeah.
or the young people, we just found it when it is done online, and we thought it was always online.
No.
So there were times we used to do paper. We filled on paper and sent
Paper.
it.
You
Wow.
go to the PO box. We used
Wow.
to. You remember those PO box? You put in your envelope,
Yeah.
and if you have to receive back the lip-ride, it was in a big, huge brown sealed envelope.
Wow, that's
Yes.
interesting to know.
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow. Now, Lucy,
Yes.
I have several questions that I want to ask you because of your story. Now, you've been applying since that paper, and then it comes this year now when you apply and then you win. Could you just tell us briefly what happened when you last applied? Were you still interested because you had applied so many times without getting selected? Had you lost your heart, or you just kept on moving? the last time you did, what happened?
I was not, this is the only time when I was not very expectant. I was not very apprehensive. I was not very keen, actually, about applying. But it's a gentleman who works at a cyber here in Kabete. And I had gone to do my daily errands. I had some printing. I wanted him to do some emails. And when I finished my work, because he's a young guy, he just asked me if I would be interested in filling in the DV. And actually, I wasn't interested, VS. The first time I wasn't interested.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Imagine.
So it seems that you had somehow lost hope because you had applied for several times and you were not selected. So you had no interest.
I had no interest. I didn't even believe that
Wow.
the DV works.
Actually, you could think it's a scam. So you say that someone from a cyber, a young man, is the one who pushed you to apply. This time, little did you know that it's the time that you get selected. So someone pushed you.
Actually, when this gentleman asked me if he can apply the DV for me, I actually had no interest. So, and I was so tired. So I told him, I'm so tired. I actually left. He did it, but he just requested, can I just take a photo in case you will be interested? So because a photo doesn't hurt, I told him, okay, and make it fast. He took a photo using his phone. He never applied for me. I was so tired actually. So I just went home. I remember it was around 3. Just wanted to get home and rest. On getting home, I was now okay. It was around 8 p.m. Same guy called me. And I asked him, hey, what is it? Is there a problem? He told me, no, I haven't closed the cyber yet. I was wondering if we can apply the DV that I told you during the day. And I told him, now that time I was relaxed. So I gave him some attention and I asked him, you can go ahead. And so he told me, can you kindly send me a photo of your passport, the biometric page? And to just get him off my back, I asked him, okay, which one is the biometric page? He told me the page that has your photo. I told him, okay, in a moment. So I went, took the photo of my passport. That is the time when you could only apply if you had a valid passport. So I captured the biometric page, sent it to him, and forgot. And I actually forgot.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So this was the year 2021 October. Yeah, because
This was the year 2021 October.
yeah,
Right,
yeah, 2021 October, we
Yeah.
needed to have the passport for you to apply.
Exactly.
So you say now the guy applied for you. So did you even remember to save the number, the confirmation number?
I did not even know much about the confirmation number that time, because when this guy calls me and I'm in the house and he applied and I was not so keen, I did not even follow it up. However, he must have been the angel sent from heaven because he kept that number and he gave me that paper when I went again at the cyber.
Wow, that's good. So he applied for you.
He did.
Then printed the confirmation number and saved it somewhere until you could pass through. And then he handed over that confirmation number to you.
Yes.
Now, let me ask you. Now you have the confirmation number,
Yes.
of which you are not interested because you are not even interested in applying. And then you are waiting for the results.
Yeah.
And now comes the time when the results are out. That is May 2022. Did you even know the results are out?
No, actually, when this guy gave me this paper, I think I just misplaced it. I could not even remember it is May and that I'm supposed to check for the DV. And by the way, my story is very interesting. This journey is very interesting because it's the DV that kept following me. This is the only time it's not me who kept following the DV. I don't know if you want me to tell you how I discovered I've
Wow.
won it. Yes.
You just mentioned something interesting.
Yeah.
That it was the DV following you,
Yes.
not you following the DV.
The only time it was the
That's-
DV that was interested in me.
That's wonderful. Yes, I would like to know how you came to realize, because you see you
Yeah.
had misplaced your confirmation printed page.
Absolutely.
So let us hear about that.
So when this guy gave me this confirmation page, you see, to me, I thought, it's just the 200 shillings he's after. Because he told me, and ma'am, you are going to pay 200 shillings. And I paid. But where I kept that paper is not a place where I could even remember. But VS Imagine comes this day. It is early May of 2022, which was last year. And this particular day, I'm preparing to go to a chama, something they call merry-go-round here in Kenya. And I'm the one who was going to give the lift to these ladies. So they were supposed to come to my house, and then I drive them to where the chama was. On my desk, I had noted there were so many paperwork, so many files that I wanted to go through, destroy, so that to just clear my desk and to just put it in order. So I thought, since these ladies will take forever, let me keep myself busy now that I have extra time, destroying the files, destroying the papers, and arranging my desk. And there was this particular file, I think I had written miscellaneous, things that are not really important, and it was so full. So I could just open the file, look at the paper, destroy, throw in the bin, throw in the bin, throw in the bin. But then there is where I had kept this paper that the cyber guy had given me. And actually this same cyber guy had highlighted the confirmation number. And yeah, of course, I'm still not interested. It did not even strike my interest. It did not even make me realize it is May when the DP is out. So I just took a photo of that paper, among other papers. And I sent it, forwarded by WhatsApp to my daughter, and I wrote a caption. You can keep checking that thing wherever you have time. And I still destroyed it, threw it. Of course, time went by, and my ladies came. We went to the chama. That was on a Saturday. I will never forget. But the following day, when I'm preparing to go to church, my daughter calls me, and she's screaming. My daughter is a mother of 3. So in my mind, it was like, oh my God, what's wrong with the kids? And so I asked her, is everything okay? What's wrong? Which one of the 3 is having a problem? And she's screaming. And she's telling me, Mom, you have won. And can you imagine, I couldn't even remember that I sent her the caption yesterday.
Wow.
I couldn't even think.
Wow.
So I kept asking her, I have not done the charity sweepstake. What is this that I have won? Mm-hmm. And she kept screaming, Mom, imagine, finally you have won. I told her what?
Wow.
She got her breath and she told me, Mom, the lottery.
Wow.
And I was like, what?
Yes.
Who? Where? When?
Wow.
Can it happen?
Wow.
So even I was taken aback. Yes, I was shocked. It was a mixture of, I couldn't scream. I'm alone in my house. I didn't know what to do. I eventually, pulled my breath that I could scream. Wow. And we could scream, her from the other end.
Wow.
Me from the other end. But VS, there's something I didn't know.
Yes.
That winning green card and getting that letter that tells you congratulations, you have randomly been selected.
Yes.
I didn't know that was the list of, the whole story.
Wow. Before we come to that, so this is you.
Yes.
In the house.
Yes.
On a Saturday.
Alone.
And then you get this news that you have been won. Then you don't know what is it about.
Yeah.
And then the news comes, you've won the green card. Yes, I know. You could scream because you've tried so many times.
Yes.
And you are almost giving up hope. Mm-hmm. And finally, you apply. And then you get the report from your daughter that you have been won because you sent her the number to check for you.
Yeah.
And then it comes as a surprise. Wow, I can't imagine the feeling. So you mean, you said that you didn't know that winning and receiving that we call it first notification letter, that congratulations, you have been randomly selected. So you never knew that that was just a small thing. It was just one of the major steps that you should take.
Let me tell you, VS, me, I've always thought,
Yes.
congratulations, you have randomly been selected,
Yes.
is winning green card.
Wow. So you thought
Yeah.
the following day or the following week
Oh.
you'll be going to the US.
Me, I thought I have won. I even started telling people I have won until someone told me, don't. You say,
So
keep
you
it
never
to
knew
yourself.
there were steps to be followed.
Oh, I didn't even know that so many people received that letter.
Yes.
But a very small portion walk the journey to the end.
Yes, and you guys, you should note that many people, they confuse when they receive the news that they have been randomly been selected. They become overjoyous.
Yeah.
They think that this is the visa, the green card visa itself. It's now to pack and leave. Yet there is a whole lot of steps that are waiting for you. So, Lucy,
Yeah.
tell us, what did you realize you're supposed to do next? Having noticed that it is not about the visa, it's now the time that you start now applying and proceeding. What did you realize that you should do next?
Now that I have told you, this specific paper was with my daughter.
Yes.
My daughter is an IT person. Her husband is an IT person.
Yes.
So they're the ones who took it up. And on that paper, on that paper, there's a number, the confirmation number. The number the cyber guy was pleading with me. He was telling me, kindly keep this paper, because if you lose it, you will not have access to the number I have highlighted.
Yeah.
It is called the confirmation number. Yeah. If you would ever win, it is this number that you will key in,
yeah,
for them to start communicating with you.
So, Lucy,
yes,
you said that your daughter checks for you. She keys in your confirmation number and your details. And then she sees this message that congratulations, you have been selected.
Yes.
So what did you find inside that notification that surprised you?
Inside that notification, what we found was actually now the case number.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to interpret the case number, VS, but now I know that any case number is not just any case number.
Yes.
I now know there is low case number and high case number.
Yeah.
So yes, once we keyed in this confirmation number, we got our first notification letter. On our first notification letter was the case number. Now, the case number is everything because there's a low case number and a high case number. Remember, I told you being congratulated that you have randomly been selected is really almost nothing. Yeah. It's now this case number, whether yours is low or high. So this first letter, the first notification letter, had my case number. And then it also now had the link that took us to the very famous form, the DS-260.
Wow, Lucy, you've spoken about the case number.
Yes.
Could you just tell us roughly around what number was your case number?
I was in the 20s, 20,000, between 20,000 and 30,000.
Between 20,000 and 30,000?
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. So go ahead. You found out the link to the DS-260 form.
Yes.
So go ahead.
So we open the link and we get the DS-260 form. DS-260 form is a very long document which you have to give all of your details from the time you were born, if you're married or not. This is where maybe you tell if you're married, and anything you say must be backed by a document. And this is where you talk about your parents. Is there one who has passed on, who is alive? I remember when I said my mom was alive, they asked me to give the details of her physical address. You can imagine at my age.
Wow.
I am 55.
Wow.
They want the physical address
Wow.
of my mother.
Wow. And let me ask you.
Yes.
So you get this form DS260 form.
Yes.
Were you able to fill it yourself or someone helped you in filling it?
Me, myself, I could not, because it can make you break down, by the way. And I don't mean to discourage anyone.
Especially in your age.
Yes, because you have to go back to history. And going back to history and making sure everything aligns with everything. Where have you worked? From which year to which year? Which school did you go to? From which year to which year? It was not easy.
Wow.
Thank God my son helped me through.
Wow. So your son helped you through.
Yes.
So you are now filling this form DS260.
Yes.
And it requires you to give the details about yourself.
Yes.
And your background and your family.
Yes, yes.
And you're now filling it. Did you do it in one day or on one sitting? In one sitting?
Oh no! Oh yes!
Wow.
Oh my God! You could. It is segmented. It has sections.
Yes.
They might pick on personal details.
Yes.
You will fill the personal details. Fill, and then you save.
You save
that section.
Yes.
So that when you save, you can be able to open it tomorrow.
Yes.
And edit.
Yes.
Then tomorrow you come to the next section. I'll tell you why it can't take a day VS.
Yes.
Because every section requires details.
Yes, a lot
so
of
you have to go back to history,
Yes.
get details, so that what you write down does not contradict
Yes.
what you have said or what you will say.
Wow.
Now, to answer your question, it took us a week.
A week. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, some people may try to rush because they are overjoyous.
Yes.
So they may try to run and apply. And I normally tell my viewers that it's very important that when filling the DS260, you be on a sober mind. You fill it bit by bit. You fill the first section, you save it, come later with full information, fill the second section,
Yes.
save it, go, come again and fill it. Because it's very important.
Yeah.
And we can see that's what you exactly did.
Yeah.
Now, you have filled the form DS260 and you said that it took you a week.
It did.
Now, after you clicked submit, what happened next? Did you receive any call for the interview anytime soon, or were you to wait, or what happened?
Yes, you were going to wait, but as we said, you fill a section, you save. You fill a section, you save. If you happen to go to the end of DS260 and press confirm,
Yes.
it means you cannot retrieve the information.
Yes, yes.
That is why they say keep filling and saving, filling and saving, filling and saving. VS, if you may allow me before I answer your question, is that once you finish the DS260, it's good to print it before you go confirm. Because if you confirm, you cannot retrieve it. It has gone, it has gone, it has gone. So
Right.
that you can refer to the information for that time when you are going to the interview, so it does
Right.
not contradict.
To refresh your mind on what you filled
Yes.
in the DS260. So you recommend that people should print
Yes.
to have that copy
Yeah.
so that they can review it
Yes.
before they go to the interview.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then immediately after submitting the DS260 form,
Yes.
you are supposed to print the confirmation page.
Absolutely. And even going back to your question,
Yes.
immediately we now sent.
You submit the form.
You submit.
Yes.
Imagine those people, they send you an email within an hour
Yeah.
or less,
Yes.
to just a short email to say, we have received your
All right.
DS260.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. That's great. Now, here we come. You have submitted your DS260 form.
Yes.
Now, how long did it take for you to get your second notification letter, the letter that calls you for the interview, since the time you submitted the DS260 form?
Thank you. Now, I submitted the DS260 VS in June, the first week.
The first week of June.
The first week of June.
Yes.
And that was in
2022.
2022, my friend.
Yes.
and I was going to be called almost an year later.
Wow.
In 2023,
Yes.
this year,
Yes.
2023 August, more
Oh.
than a year.
Oh.
More than a year.
So you mean you waited since June
June 2022,
2022
yes.
up until August of 2023?
Up until August
Wow.
2023 is more than a year. And VS, August means we only had, no, end of July.
End of
We
July.
only had 1.5 months to end of the 2023 DV.
Wow. So you had to wait for that long.
That long, yet my case number was a good case number.
Yeah, of course. I know the case of Nairobi Embassy. Nairobi Embassy really frustrated a lot of people.
Yes.
Because by the time the DV lottery came to an end, in fact, it came to an abrupt end because it was not expected, but around 3rd of September, everything was over.
Yeah.
So Nairobi Embassy really messed up with people because your case number is between 20,000 and 30,000.
Yeah.
And if in a normal year, it would have taken you just about up to January of 2023 to get your interview. But you see, up to August, and during the final days, that's when you receive your second notification letter. So you had to wait for a whole year.
Yes.
Tell us about that wait. Was it sweet one?
Oh my God. Yes, that is when I got to know people like you, because you are the people who took me through that 1 year of anxiety, a mixture of excitement, anxiety, fear, worry, everything. And the more I got closer to September 30th or August, when they would stop calling people for interviews, the more my anxiety went high and high and high. So there is nothing you could do because they are not sending you any letter. They are not communicating. But at one point, I sent them an email asking what is happening.
Yes.
That was around May of 2023.
Yes.
And they will always respond by a circular letter.
Yeah.
A circular letter, until one time I wrote a second email and they told me your case is now current.
Yes.
I had zero idea what they meant by the fact that my case is now current.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. So you have waited for that long. And how did you come to know me during that period? Or how did you come across the YouTube channel?
Oh my God. So what I could do in the evening, I could go to YouTube, I could search DV, and I could listen to so many people. And so many people were not responding to my need, to the questions, to my fear. Until now, I came to your channel, VS, and I could listen to you. The clarity in the things you are saying, you are honest. You are telling us the good, better, ugly, the challenges, and you kept giving me hope. You kept even mentioning the case numbers that still have a chance, and that is what kept me going.
Wow.
Every night when you uploaded a video, I could always watch your videos.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Now, Lucy, you told us of the long wait. And now comes this day finally, when you get the second notification letter. How did you feel?
Well, it was unbelievable. In fact, the time I received my second notification letter that confirms the date for my interview, I had lost hope. Remember, this is July, and the DV 2023 is ending on 30th of September. So there's only August between July and August. And my reasoning was they can't give me just a month to prepare, because I thought September 30th I should have left the country. And that is a story for another day, VS, because regardless of when they give you the visa, they always give you 6 months to prepare.
Yeah.
However, it was unbelievable. My children had given up. I did not even know how. Let me tell you how I realized that I got my second to a nail.
Yeah.
I was listening to you, yes, in the night.
Oh, wow.
Because now I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
Because now the feeling that I have come all the way, I have really prepared, and I won't get a visa was unbearable. So every night I couldn't wait to get to bed and see if you are saying something that is going to give me hope. Because every time you could give me hope, every time you could give me hope, every time in the night I get to bed, I was addicted to Verified Soul. I wanted to hear what is he saying about the time, because you kept addressing the issue of time. Time is running out, but hold it there. You will still be called. So that was therapeutical at a time when I was so hopeless. And I'm listening to you late in the night, and something pops up on my email. Remember, we've all lost hope, even my children, and we are so like annoyed. And I opened my email, and bang, invitation, my
Wow.
second notification.
And I know the email comes telling you that you have a pending notification on the DV website. So did you click the link to visit and see what was there?
Yes, I did. But the beauty was they also hint to you that it is about your interview.
All right.
When I opened the link, on the link is now another journey of preparation. Because it is there that they will highlight all the requirements that you need for you to be ready for the interview.
Come again. Let me ask it again.
Yes.
So you check the email,
Yes.
you get that notification.
Yes.
Then you click the link.
Yes.
It takes you to the DV program page.
Yes.
And then you put your details. Then
Yes.
you receive this notification,
Yes.
the second notification later.
Yes.
Then you're saying it tells you of the requirements.
The second notification letter, it tells you when you are booked for the interview.
All right.
However, on the second notification letter, popularly known as the 2NL, there's a link that you have now to press.
All right.
It is on that link now that you get all the requirements. And the requirements are things like your Kenya national results that you have to book for your medical, things like your birth certificate, and they always insist you bring the original and attach a copy.
Right.
But also there's so much that they don't tell you if you don't read that letter extremely to the letter, every word that is written.
All right. So what are these things that they normally don't tell you?
Yeah, that is a good question,
Because I want to know about that.
They will give you the documents. They will say number 1, this, number 2, this, number 3, this. And like they will even tell you, also attach, for example, your Kenya National Examination results and attach a copy. What they won't tell you is that you must go to the Kenya National themselves, give your results, Kenya National authenticates those results, and Kenya National actually sends them to the embassy by DHL.
All right. So for the case of Kenya, you're saying that you need to go to the Kenya National Examination Council and authenticate your certificate. That is, in the DV terms, we say it, you notarize it. So that one they will not mention for you.
They will not mention,
but they just tell you certify the document.
Yes, they will not tell you that you need to take it to the Kenya National, and that is where the YouTubers come in, because most of this information I got from YouTube. I also would have just taken my original and I attach a copy and I take.
All right.
But if it has not been authenticated, there's a terminology you are using, VS, that I don't know. But if the Kenya National don't authenticate and it is taken from Kenya National through DHL to the American embassy, you and those people are no joke.
All right, I get it. So there are some relevant information that you might not realize inside there, but you're required to do. I've heard that you need to certify your academic document, the high school certificate. You certify it with the examination body. And also, I've heard that you have to book for your medical examination.
Yes, absolutely. But also on the Kenya National, there's something I want to say.
Yeah.
It is not just the Kenya National, it's any certificate that you have.
All right.
For
Yeah.
any exam you sat at the Kenya National.
That
So
is
for my
true.
kids,
Yeah.
because I attended my college with the government secretariat,
Yeah.
those days
Yeah.
we were doing Kenya National exams.
All right.
So I also had to get all of those authenticated. So me, I had several. Among them now is the Kenya National. However, like you are asking, yes, there's also the issue of medical. What they will not tell you, or maybe they will tell you, but you might take it lightly, is that it is you to book the medical.
Right.
It is not them.
Yes, it's you to book the medical.
Yeah, and remember, the medical must be before the interview.
Exactly.
So if you delay and book the medical at your own time, it might clash with the medical personnel having taken your results to the embassy. So those are things that you get from online YouTubers.
So let me just cut you. So you're saying you book your medical examination as early as possible,
Yes,
so that it may not be late
yes,
for your interview.
yes,
Yeah, okay, I get you. Now I have this question.
yes.
How about registering the appointment online, the interview appointment?
And that is also another thing. You remember I told you when I received my 2NL, the second notification letter,
Yes.
I went to a link.
Yeah.
This is the embassy's link.
Yeah.
So that is where I was told all of the things that I need to prepare. Now, at that very end, there is the word register.
All right.
Please don't ignore.
Yeah.
Don't just read and ignore, because it means you register your interview.
Alright.
It means you have accepted the invitation and you are confirming, yes, I will attend. You might do all of these things, but if you don't register, and you know they will not put emphasis, so you might think it's just another heading that I need to read through. If you don't register, if you don't book your medical, if you don't take your certificates to Kenya National for authentication, those are three things they don't put emphasis on. But YouTubers will guide you around.
All right. Now, tell us about the medical experience.
The medical experience. Remember, immediately I received my 2NL. That is what I had to book, so that as I do all these other things, I'm put on the queue. The medical is so scary. It raises jitters, yes.
So for you, it was so scary.
Initially,
Is it because you didn't know what to expect there?
I'll tell you why it was. Because you don't know if you suffer from a condition that might make, because if you don't go through the medical, if something does not go through the medical, it means the medical will not confirm you for the interview. You must go through the medical to go to the interview. And I will explain something. That this facility, which is under the UN in conjunction with the American Embassy, this facility only does medical examinations for people traveling to the US, Europe, and Australia only. However, for the DV winners, it's a very special case, because we are the only ones who are called out, taken aside into a room, and we were given counseling. So they will announce, if you are a DV winner, before you go through the process, go for counseling. Why? Because the medical is a do or die. Meaning, if you have the specific conditions that they will highlight during the counseling, they are preparing you to tell you, if you have those conditions, your case ends here. And it is very scary watching people coming from the doctor's room crying. I saw one lady, she had come with her 2 kids, and she left the doctor place crying, and you will outrightly tell she's been told she has a condition and her case cannot go through. And the
Wow.
conditions are many, but they will explain all of them to you.
Wow. So just to mention one condition that might put an end to your DV process.
They call it TB. And when we say TB, if you are smart, you know what it is that they call TB. If you have a history of depression, mental illness, and of course, anything related to STD.
So you mean if you are diagnosed with TB?
Yes.
I can understand that you only have some few months to the interview.
Yes.
And then you are diagnosed with TB.
Yes.
And normally TB would take around 6 months to be treated.
Yes.
And that is to me, you can't have enough time to treat it.
Absolutely.
And therefore your visa is somehow doomed.
Absolutely.
All
And those
right.
are some of the highlights they will mention.
So I can see why you are so much scared.
Yes.
I can see the reason.
And of course, because I didn't know if I may be suffering from anything, because
right.
those are just 3 conditions I've mentioned.
Right.
The conditions are many.
That's good. Now, let us fast forward on your interview day. Tell us how you prepared yourself and at what time did you arrive and at what time was your interview scheduled?
My interview was 1 week after my medical. My interview was scheduled at 6:30. I had received 2 letters. One was a day before my interview, telling me that my interview has been scheduled a day before.
That was on which date?
22nd.
22nd.
But on
Of
my
August?
Yes.
All right.
But on my 2NL, my interview had been scheduled for 23rd. So to be safe, I decided I will go on 22nd. They would rather tell me no, come on 23rd, which is actually what happened. I went through the process from the gate, the checking, through the entrance, the screening, all of that, even to the waiting bay. But then an officer called me and said, because they will ask you for those letters. An officer at one time came and called me and said, Lucy, we are so sorry. They really apologized, but this is an error from our side. Your interview is scheduled for tomorrow.
All right.
So for the first day, I had to leave, come back again tomorrow at 6:30.
Okay, get it.
Yeah.
So they had mistakenly scheduled you a day earlier.
Yes.
Instead of the exact date.
Yes.
All right. And 23rd is here.
23rd is here.
And again, you must go through the security checks.
Yes.
So give us that story up to the interview.
So you get to the gate. I didn't drive. I went by Uber because once you pass the medical, the embassy will call you to congratulate you and to remind you we are expecting you for your interview. It's like a confirmation. Your medical has gone through, and so we are confirming you are coming for the interview. We are expecting you. Yeah. So you get to the gate, you find a big queue. At the gate, you must provide your passport. You must provide your DS-260, and you must provide your confirmation letter for the interview, which is the only reason why the previous day they had allowed me through, because you remember I had 2 letters for 2 different dates.
All right.
So I went through. Some of the guards could even remember me. All right. I went through the first gate. You go through the screening, and then you walk to now another very thorough screening that feels like X-ray, because that is when you switch off your phone, you remove your shoes, you remove any jewelry, you remove earrings, like you are in the airport, you put them in a tray. Right. They check whether there is any drugs in anything that is like drugs or something. Then you go through and they remain with your items except the shoes. They give the shoes back and they give you a tag, the one you will use to come back and pick your items. And now you proceed to the embassy main entrance. At the embassy main entrance, a guard will come and pick your documents. the DS260. And those are the documents that will be put inside. Because we have also people who have something called DS160.
Excuse me, by DS260 you mean the DS260 confirmation page?
Yes.
All right.
The DS260 confirmation page. So we sit at a different place, and everybody else sits at a different place outside the entrance at a waiting bay. And you are given a number. You wait until your number is called. Your number is called through loudspeakers that are somewhere, but you will hear. And so you just sit there for like even an hour in the cold. Remember, it's very early, so dress warmly, and you freeze actually until your number is called. So I could see people who we are sitting with, DS260 holders. They go in and they just come back and they are pale, and you can always tell it didn't work. But then now my time came and I was called. I was called sooner than I expected because my number, they hadn't reached my number, but they called me. When I went inside, I went through 2 interviews. When I went inside, I went to the first desk. In the first desk, they asked me for my documents. These people are so kind. In their final letter, they will tell you how to arrange your documents. This one is on top, followed by this one, followed by the passport photo size, followed, and so I had arranged mine so well. So when I gave that to her, she went through, but then something was amiss on my documents. If you allow me, I will talk about the affidavit of support. The affidavit of support is another very, very, very challenging document. And guess what? On their list of requirements, they mention it nowhere. They don't mention it. It is you to find out. How you find out, they don't explain that.
How did you come to know about it? Yet they don't indicate it.
You cannot ask me that, BS, because you don't know us.
All right.
As we know you.
All right.
We know you so much. The information you give us, it's you who mentioned it on one of your YouTube.
All right.
And you see now me, I had become so addicted to you, I had gotten my children addicted. And everything I listened from you, I would throw to my children. And my children would dig and come out with other information from your YouTube channel. So my son-in-law is the one who listened to you and he threw to me your YouTube, and he told me, Mom, I think we need to take affidavit of support seriously. For those who don't know what affidavit of support is, it is the document that is supposed to be signed by your host. It is the document that confirms someone legit who is a US citizen is receiving you the other end. And that person has to be screened such that how big is the house that this person lives? Can that house accommodate you? Has this person ever committed a crime? How much does this person earn? Does this person pay tax? And that person has to attach all those documents. And remember, this someone else who is filling it for you.
All right. Wow. So you've realized that you need the Form I-134 as an affidavit of support. Was it easy to get someone to give you that?
Finding someone to get me that was easy. Yes.
How did you
feeling it?
How did you get hold of him or her?
She has been a friend of mine.
All right.
A single lady like me.
All right.
Within my age.
Yeah.
And she's Kenyan.
Okay.
And her daughter is my daughter's best friend.
Okay.
And they have been to high school together.
Right.
So it is our children that brought us together. So that when she comes to Kenya, we are friends, we hang out, we do our thing, we go out, we party together until the time she goes back. Okay. So there was that friendship. Okay. So even when she heard that I had won, she was super excited. Okay. But I do know that getting affidavit of support or someone to fill it for you is a challenge.
Yeah, indeed, it's a challenge to many because you find out that you have gone, you don't have a family member in the US,
Yes.
you don't have a friend in the US, you're just new to this. Now, getting someone who is a US citizen or a green card holder to sponsor you then becomes tough. Anyway, that was interesting. Now, you are on the interview desk, you submitted your documents. What transpires? What follows?
That is what I was saying about the affidavit of support.
Yes, yes.
And VS, that is when now we looked for you. Because the affidavit of support proved extremely challenging. If you remember, VS, we looked for you.
Alright.
How we got you, don't worry. But you later looked for me because we communicated and I now started telling you this is happening, and you started asking me and guiding me and leading me. On the affidavit of support, VS, there's a place you asked me to sign, and I didn't sign.
You forgot to sign it?
I don't know why I didn't sign. But that is where I am saying when I got to my first interview, they realized I hadn't signed.
Alright.
All along, I thought I signed when you asked me to sign. And imagine they allowed me to sign.
That's what's
They allowed me to sign. So they gave me back the documents and asked me to. Remember, you had asked me to sign that bit, but I hadn't signed it because when my host sent the affidavit of support, she had already filled non-applicable. So I never thought. And there was, you had also asked me to fill in dates. I hadn't. So they told me to fill in that date.
Oh, that was good.
So I was told to go back. So you go back to the court, you wait. Now you are called again. And sorry, during this time when I handed over my documents, I was asked some questions. I was asked, have you ever been married before? I said no. How many children do you have? I was asked that. I said 3. Are they all married? I said yes. I had ever applied for a visa before and I was denied. She didn't ask me why I was denied. She twisted the question, giving me a chance to fail.
No, just wait. This is becoming interesting. So you have ever applied for a visa to the US?
Yes.
Which visa was this? Or what was it for?
This was a visitor's visa,
Alright.
and I had applied in 2018, and I had been denied.
Oh.
And I was told in fact, by you listening to your channel, there was a time you had said they are very keen on a visa that had been denied.
Yes, they keep record of that.
So I was worried.
Yeah.
When I went there, she didn't ask me if you have ever been denied or if you have ever applied for a visa. This is how she put the question. She said, okay, Lucy, so I believe you have never applied for a visa before.
Wow, so tricky.
You see, now that is setting me up to say, oh, she doesn't know. So I just say yes. But because you had trained me, I said, no, I have ever applied, but I was denied.
That was so good.
And for the first time, she looked at me because all this time she wasn't looking at me. So she took my documents and I went outside waiting to be called. I waited, and I was called. I think between the first interview and the second, they are going through your documents.
The first desk, the counter, to the second counter.
To the second counter. They are looking through your desk, your documents. I waited. Again, the louder speaker, I was called and I was told this time, go to counter 8.
Counter 8.
Yeah, so you'll just read and see counter 8. I went to counter 8. I found a gentleman who I believe was American.
Because he was white.
All right.
Right.
So he asked me questions and he almost repeated the same questions that lady had asked me. He asked me, are you married? I said no. The issue of whether I'm married was such a big deal. Are you married? No. So you are single? Yes. And you are a mother of 3? Yes. And you have never been married? I repeated, no, I have never been married. That was for that. But this gentleman asked me the very same question. so you have never applied for a visa before? The way that other lady asked me. And I told him, no, sir, I have ever applied and I was denied. He asked me, do you know why you were denied? I told him, maybe because I didn't really know how to apply, and I think I also applied for the wrong visa. He asked me, which visa did you apply for? I told him, while I dedicated, I'm going to visit, I applied for tourism visa.
All right.
He didn't say anything. He just looked at me, and that is when now he threw the last question. So that is when he threw the last comment. So he said, "Your visa has been approved."
Wow.
That gentleman is usually standing,
Yeah.
and he doesn't look at you. He's filling things on the computer as he talks. But when he tells you your visa has been approved, that's when he looks at you, turns on this side, picks a paper, and gives it to you.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow, your visa has been approved.
Yes.
How did you feel?
I felt so good.
Wow.
He looked at me, we looked at each other. He could see it on my face, and I just told him, "Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you."
Now, are you in the United States or when are you planning to leave? If you're not in the US.
Good question. Right now, as we talk, I'm not in the US. I'm actually in my house in Kabete. I am packing. And packing VS is the most stressful thing. Remember, I told you I'm 55. So I'm doing a whole solid 55 years.
Wow, the whole 55 years,
Yes.
well established
In 6 months.
in 6 months.
Or less. Because now I have been now checking out the other side, and I am even told winter is coming anytime.
Yeah.
I would rather get there before winter, which starts in October, way through December, because going and finding winter at its peak will not be very kind for me. I've never been used to ice and snow. So I'm trying now to pack. I want to leave somewhere in October, November.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's good. So you're still in your home country, Kenya?
I'm in Kenya, I'm in Kabete, I'm starting a new journey, I'm starting a new era, and that is what is happening.
And before I proceed,
Yes.
you have a very interesting story.
Yes.
Do you have a place where you share this out?
Yes. I have just started a YouTube channel. It is called Lukaime, and I am inviting you to watch my YouTube. That YouTube is meant for this specific story. I want to share this story. I want to encourage people the way I have been encouraged. But most of all, I want to take you through the challenges, the expectations, and how to do these things. So it's called Lukaime. It is a very new channel. I want you to visit my channel, to like, to subscribe, to fly with me to the US, start with me the new journey, start with me the new era.
So guys, this is my guest, and as you can see and you can tell, she has a very interesting story and many things to speak about. Therefore, visit her channel. It is Lukaime. On the very last remarks, or the last thing that I might request you, what would you tell my viewers as they are preparing for the application in the DV Lottery 2025? Some have lost hope. Just speak to them.
Thank you very much. I will tell you this. I am 55 years old. In Kenya, for lack of a better word, if I have not established myself, I'm a write-off. There are no jobs. Nobody can hire me except for consultancy or for my own business. In the US, you say here age is a number, but here age is not a number. In the US, age is just a number. I will tell you with the time, if VS allows me, what I plan to do. Because in the US, what a 20-year-old can do, I can do. And so it gives you a brand new lease to life, regardless of your age. I repeat, I'm 55. Apply for DV. Apply for DV. Apply for DV. If you are young, the better. Apply for DV. If they could not take you into university to pursue your medical degree in the US, there's always a way. There's always a way. US is the place to go.
Yeah. So guys, make sure you apply.
Yes.
Regardless of how many times you have tried and not won, that you've heard for yourself that Lucy had applied several times and she was almost giving up. But she applied and she was selected. DV lottery is not a scam. It might be your chance. Just give it a try. So thank you so much, Lucy, for being our guest today. I hope we shall meet again on this channel.
Yes, absolutely. I hope to give you more interviews, whether in Kenya or in the US. I want you to show people what is happening to me now going forward.
All right, that's so good.
Mm.
So, guys, as usual, don't forget to subscribe to this channel.